And welcome back to another episode of the Buddies Much podcast. I'm Chase.
I'm Andrew.
I'm Sean.
We're switching it up a little bit. We are going to do today's episode on VR, virtual reality, for those old folks out there. If you guys could like, comment, and subscribe, that would be great.
The next step in gaming, VR. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
So, I'll start us off, Andrew.
Oh, ask the guy who doesn't own the VR set to go first. Yeah, what's up?
Like, when I say VR, what do you have in your head?
Okay, well, I feel this is going to be an interesting topic because I feel like my opinion on VR is way different than your guys' opinion, mainly because, first of all, both of you own, is it the Oculus Quest?
Yeah.
Two?
We both have an Oculus.
Oculus Quest 2.
Oculus Quest 2.
Powered by Facebook. Sorry, Meta.
But, which
Please
is
give us
really
free stuff.
which is really, really cool. I have played it, but I don't own one. When I think of VR, I think of back to like the early 2000s when VR was like very first coming
Terrible.
out, and it was really bad, and it was like thousands of dollars.
And you remember those machines you could go to like an arcade and there was like this crane with like a headset you could put on?
Yeah. Yeah, and like I always would see these things on YouTube where it's like the next step in gaming, and it'd show a guy like running on a treadmill, like
He's
like
like hooked
doing-
up at the waist.
yeah, like doing. That's what I thought VR was, and I'm like, that's weird.
Oh.
Luckily, VR took a very big left turn, and we don't have that anymore.
I think some people still have that setup, but that's like hardcore.
Well, like earlier this year, Sean and I, we were in Vegas. We went on a VR roller coaster,
oh yeah.
and it was terrible.
It made me sick. Like I got really motion sick.
But I'm going to open it up to you guys because you guys actually have the consoles. I think it's cool. Do I personally think it's $300 or $400 cool? No. That's my opinion. I'll get into why I think that later, but I know you guys really enjoy it. But I think it's interesting how like over the years it really has evolved where like, because I mean I remember back at the mall there was like a little shop, not a shop, but like a
Just
a shop,
like
a
a
store,
little rented space.
yeah, a rented space where you could go and you'd pay $30 or whatever, and you
test
could
it out for a little
yeah,
bit.
you'd play it for an hour. Well, that doesn't exist anymore because they finally made VR affordable. With the I think the Oculus Quest is actually the best one so far
Well,
because
the most popular.
I'm actually not sure it
'Cause
even
the-
has viable competition.
I don't know because the
Sony
first
did
one, yeah, the first one that came, the first Oculus, it sold well, but the problem was you had to have a computer that could run it. Like if you didn't have a certain specs on your
Oh,
computer,
yeah.
you could not run it.
Well, they run into things like this now too, where content, there's all these video game designers and whatnot, and I don't think it's that hard, or I think it's probably kind of difficult to turn it into an augmented reality virtual type thing.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the early stages of VR were very basic, and so it wasn't really capturing people. Like they were fascinated with the concept of like, oh, I can do this, but then finally they released some games like Super Hot, and we'll get into some other games where you had a fully fledged game
Yeah.
that you could play, and it was immersive and it was cool. But I guess we should talk about what are your thoughts on VR, you two?
I got my Oculus just, I don't know, 5-6 months ago maybe, and that was one of my biggest issues was trying to find games that
weren't 30 seconds long.
and games that I liked. I like the longer games that are
So you're saying is you wanted to buy Skyrim for the 7th time?
I would love if
Skyrim's on the
well
Oculus.
you have to mod. You have to do a mod.
That's lame.
And oh man, I would I would do that for sure.
Because I swear, I've
Now that I
seen
have a better
footage of someone
computer,
playing
I would
Skyrim.
probably be able to do that. But you can't just like put it on the Oculus. You'd have to port it to your computer and then run it to your headset. But there are a few games that I've got that I actually really like, and I mean we'll get into that in a little bit. But the leading expert in this room on VR is Sean.
I wouldn't say expert.
You-
I'd say like connoisseur.
How many hours would you say you have spent on
I've had my
He plays Beat Saber on expert, guys.
I've had my
He doesn't win, but he plays it on expert.
I attempt. I turn it on. I've had my Oculus for about a year, and I have spent, I don't know, maybe like 7 months in it, like straight. I just live VR now.
So I heard this thing.
There's this one time, got into like this RPG game.
Oh,
It actually was
yeah.
stuck on my face for.
Yeah. Wait, am I in VR right now? I can't tell.
I heard this thing. I don't know if it was a TikTok or whatever, but this guy was talking about VR, and he was like, everyone has the same experience when they buy VR. They get excited, they buy VR, they play it for a week, and then it sits on the shelf for a few months. Then they take it out, they play it for a week, and it sits on the shelf for a few months. Do you think that's the case?
That's
or
me.
No,
No,
that's
yes,
That's me.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That you'll play it for like 2 weeks straight, and then you'll set it down for like a month, and then
Yeah.
you'll pick it up and be like, "Oh, I remember this," and then you play it for like 2 weeks straight. But
Like
I
I-
think that has to do with what Chase was saying, is that there's not reliable content. That the content that they have is you can play it for 30 seconds, and then that's kind of the
Well,
game.
And it's not comfortable. The headset, it's few pounds on the front of your face, you know.
Is it possible that like maybe one of the reasons that that's the case is because it's too immersive? Because like when you play Xbox, you can play Xbox casually. You can turn something on, go make yourself a snack, come back, whatever. I feel like with the VR, it's kind of like I'm playing this, I'm blocking out the next hour to play this. Don't
Yes.
distract me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that's the case.
And like another thing, it takes time to set up, right?
oh really?
So,
See, I don't know anything about
like,
that.
with the
I think like
Oculus,
initially, like once you got your initial setup, then you
But,
just
like-
put the headset on and go.
well, not really, because you have to, like in my living room, I have to move all the couches, tables, everything out of the way.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess.
I have to set the boundary every time.
You gotta lock the dog in the room so you don't step on him.
That's true. I've done that. Or he tries to play, and I don't know what I'm.
You
I'm like,
kick
go
him
away,
by
go away.
accident, yeah.
And then,
I stepped on his toy today. He was like biting my foot and like, give me my toy back.
there's also the part where you have to put that headset on, crank on the bands, and also a lot of it too is battery life kind of sucks
Oh,
on the
does it?
Oculus.
What is it? Like 4 hours?
It's
a few
it's
hours
a couple
for sure,
hours,
but-
like maybe 2.
But
Oh.
like, again, with the immersive games, which I really like, it starts to drain your battery.
It takes more battery, yeah.
So, I mean, sometimes when Sean and I will, play multiplayer games, we'll like pull out battery packs and then run a cord up, from your pocket.
That's right, yeah.
That's kind of cool though. I
It
guess
is.
like it gets the job
Yeah,
done.
I mean, it works for us.
But
Yeah.
I'm like my biggest,
I'm sure over the years that'll improve though.
yeah,
I mean,
because like my biggest grief with the Xbox is I'm a glasses wearer, and like either I have to go put contacts on and put on my Oculus, or I have to put the spacer in for my glasses. Then I put it on, and it's just not.
It's not like
Not
It's
comfortable.
not like snug against your face, It kind of sits out a
Yeah.
little further away.
and I don't know if you guys have experienced this. When I used the VR, and I didn't use it that much, one of my wife's friends had it. I only played maybe 20 or 30 minutes. I got pretty sweaty.
Oh,
like
yeah.
in the face area, like everywhere. I was like, okay, I'm actually sweating pretty
That
very
hard.
active.
That is just like something you have to accept. But for like me, it's also the headache.
Oh yeah, does it give you like a pressure headache in the front?
Not, yeah, a little bit there, but also,
Or the
with
sides.
your eyes and stuff.
Oh,
Because like,
Because it's a screen like half an inch away from your face. Like,
yeah, with like, there's big old lenses in there that also magnify it.
yeah.
But I mean, really, if someday in the future they come out with, a set of aviators that
That'd
are
be kind of
all
cool.
VR, it would be so much, nicer, really.
Right.
But
Do you think it would be better if they put the bulk of it like somewhere else on the device instead of right in front of your eyes?
I mean, if you had the bulk of it, like a headset, like where your ears are, and like right here, well, you guys can't
Like on
see
top-
me,
on top
but
of the
like
head?
kind of like when you put over the headphones, and then you just had like a thin glass,
Like a visor?
Yeah, like a little,
really, in my mind, a helmet.
kind of like a Star Trek looking thing.
A full-on helmet.
You want to wear like a full helmet.
A full-on helmet. I mean, I ride motorcycles. I have helmets for that. You know,
Plus the safety alone.
the safety. You know, when you have your VR on, you're gonna trip over things. You're gonna, you know, and it's like with the Oculus, it's also very hard to, you know, you can't just like take it off super quick, right? I mean, you can, but my mind, you know, if you have like a flip up visor that,
Or
you can,
even
like,
better,
oh,
you had a
look.
button that, like, you know how, like, there's tempered glass, and then the glass changes to clear so you can see out?
Yeah.
That's going really, really
'Cause, like,
ham. But, like,
Let's
that
say
would be cool.
Let's say I have to check a text, right?
Yeah, you got to take the whole thing
You either
off.
take it off or you have to look at it through its own cameras, and you're like,
There's no way you could read your phone with the camera.
it's hard.
You're kidding
It's
me.
hard. I've done it, but it's hard. And so, you know, it's just little things like that. But I know as it increases right now, like the technology, I was looking at some of the newer release stuff. They're coming out with full on, like, have you seen, like, Ready Player One? They have those treadmills
Yeah, yeah.
that you strap into.
Yeah.
Like those.
They like hook you up around
And, like,
the waist.
They call it, like, the haptic feedback suits.
They call it like the BDS. Oh wait, sorry, that's something else.
Or like, I mean, there's this girl on TikTok who I followed who she's modded all of her VR stuff, and she'll play Beat Saber with her hands and her feet.
What?
Yeah.
What? She'd like sit in a chair and like put controllers on her?
No,
feet?
it's like dancing around and like, you know,
Like,
Oh,
do a
oh.
kick. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. That's all right.
kind of interesting. I mean, the technology is definitely growing, and I especially with all these people that are modding it, and
Yeah.
I think that's being looked into very closely. But let's get into games.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned this earlier. I love Beat Saber.
I think that's like the main game when you think of VR.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Like-
it was one of the first ones, I think.
It's super simple.
The first popular
It's
ones.
easy. It's entertaining. It's
It's Guitar Hero. Yeah, it's
easy to learn, hard to master.
And if you're our Spotify listeners, you could also go to YouTube and watch some of this footage of Sean playing Beat Saber.
that's all right.
I mean, I wouldn't call myself amazing, but I practice a lot and I play a lot, and I have a couple of favorite songs that I like, and they're fun. When you think VR, you think Beat Saber.
So I don't own a VR headset, so and you guys know more than me. So here's a question I'll throw out. I know that with Beat Saber, there's a lot of mods to get different songs.
There
Is that because they're not constantly updating it?
They are, but
Just not
I mean,
fast enough?
Yeah.
Okay.
They'll come out with a new like pack every couple of months, and they have like Linkin Park. I think they just came out with like a Billie Eilish one not too long ago.
Okay.
But there is mods you can do to go on and like pick your own songs. That I mean, it's like community created,
Right.
and I think it's along the lines of you have to beat the level before you can post it. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
But it's really cool because you can go on there and find almost every song that you want. You know.
Yeah.
I want some of the soundtrack from Call of Duty Nazi Zombies.
I'm pretty sure that's on there.
That'd be really cool. Some 115.
You know what? I'm gonna try and find that just for you before the end of the night. But on the lightsaber topic, which is what attracted me to Beat Saber in the first place, they actually have quite a variety of Star Wars games, and that is really fun for me personally. Because when you're playing a Star Wars game, like, what's the objective in every Star Wars game?
Hit someone with lightsaber.
Be a Jedi. Yes. So like when you're running around in, let's say, the Xbox and press X to swing your lightsaber, that's not fun. I mean, of course it's fun, but like it's not being a Jedi.
Yeah, it's like you spam the same combo kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In VR, you're holding like a handle and you're swinging like a lightsaber. And they have some really cool mechanics down. Like you can use force powers, you can throw your lightsaber and call it back, you can crush things with the force. It's really cool and really fun. Again, the problem with a lot of these games, though, is that the content is very small.
That's what I was going to say. I was like, is this a full-fledged campaign, or is it like you do a level and that's
It's
it?
kind of an arcade, almost.
Okay.
You know, there are
Kill as many Ewoks as you can.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are a couple of like actual story levels, but it's very short.
Yeah.
Um,
pretty surface based. Probably
Yeah.
not. Yeah.
Well, and it takes, I would imagine,
I assume there's. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I assume there's no like cut scenes or anything, is there?
Yeah, there's cutscenes.
Oh, okay, so
yeah.
it plays like a video game. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so like the next, I was showing Sean last night the new Walking Dead game, Saints vs. Sinners. I think it's based in New Orleans, and that one, it's very story. There's a lot of dialogue.
Yeah.
Kind of freaky. Again, you guys know I don't like horror, but this is actually pretty fun.
It was fun.
It gets kind of freaky, especially when there's a whole horde coming towards you, and you're.
You know, I think that puts a little bit into perspective. We were talking in our zombie episode a little while ago that Chase was like, "Oh yeah, I'd be the one to survive," you know. But when you're in that parking lot and there are 30 guys coming at you, it's intimidating. Like your heart starts to race a little bit, or you open a door and there's a zombie behind it and he jumps on you, like you get a little flustered. And
oh, it was hilarious with Sean. He's going through, so he's casting it to the TV.
Chase was watching me play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was watching Sean play, and he's going through like very slowly, like opening up the door, turns around. There's a zombie coming like up the stairs right on him. Oh, and it was also out at night, I guess, in that game. The zombies come out more at night.
Yeah.
And whole horde.
Dude, no, seriously, like
it's fun though.
You'll turn a corner and there's a bunch of them, and you're just like, oh. It really puts it in perspective. Like,
well, they also have a similar aspect to like the waves in like Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Nazi zombies. That one, you can go through, waves that get bigger and bigger, and they have like a little crafting system where, you kill a zombie, you get some Bytecoin.
some bitcoins.
Actually really funny.
Bytecoins. And then you can like craft more, like the
Negan's bat,
Lucille. Or the Judge, they call another bat.
That's cool. So, is this multiplayer?
I don't know.
We were going to test that out, actually. We don't know if it's multiplayer.
Interesting. So, does VR have online capability like the Xbox does? Where
Yep,
you can,
definitely. 100%.
Join with someone else in this world?
It's actually pretty good.
Really?
So Sean and I, when I first got mine, we both got this game called Demeo.
Demeo? Something like that.
It's D&D.
Yeah, it's Dungeons
awesome.
and Dragons. It's so fun.
It's my favorite. That's the one I've spent the most time playing.
Mostly because it takes a long time to
It takes
play,
a long time.
But
they have some kinks that they're trying to work out. You can't save. So let's say you have to put your headset down.
They actually did change that recently.
They fixed it?
They fixed it. You can save in between levels.
Okay, because there's a time when Sean and I were like, oh, our batteries are running low. So we take them off to charge it, had it paused.
It quit our game like mid-campaign.
Wow.
And so we had to start all the way over.
It's good though. Like it takes a long time.
But like that one, we've played at my place or at our own places, and it's kind of cool. The chat, you have chat and everything.
There's a microphone in the headset. You can talk to each other, and
oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's actually
pretty good.
Yeah, it's quite nice. I do like how the Oculus doesn't just like go over my ears, because when I wear like over-ear headphones for a while, it does kind of tend to hurt my ears.
Yeah, so I have that problem too. My ears are extremely sensitive. I can't wear headphones for long times, even earbuds. Even like a sleep mask will hurt it. Like my ears are extremely sensitive, so it's nice that it just has the strap.
Don't touch Andrew's ears.
Don't
guys.
touch my ears. Leave them alone. Just leave them alone.
But that is nice about the Oculus, because it doesn't put the wear.
It kind of sits just above your ears.
Yeah, for sure. Where do you guys? I don't want to jump the gun. If you still want to talk about games, we can talk about games. But where do you think, like, predictions? I know it's kind of a weird thing to say, but like
where's it going?
Where is VR going? Do you think it will get popular, less popular? Where's the technology going to go from here? What direction are they going to go?
So, not just predictions, some things I've followed and read about. Like the treadmill. More, really, with VR, you want it to be more immersive than it already is.
So you're thinking like knee pads, something over your chest,
Like a full leather suit.
monitoring your heart rate.
Hang on now. That's something else. We're going into different territory.
But, like, really, like, So there's some things that they've done on the Oculus where instead of having your controllers, it'll track your hands.
The Oculus does that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, so the Oculus will track your hands, and it's not super great.
But
it's getting better.
I think it's pretty good.
Different things like that. Really, I think it's when it comes to VR, I think people want full immersed reality type thing.
Yeah.
Where you can walk around. Everyone wants these days. It's like with social media, you tend to be someone that you're not. You can be a whole other person, and
Yeah, you can escape.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
for
good
sure.
escape for sure. And like, it is one of the games or systems that I feel like I can get much more immersed into, like that the Walking Dead game that I was saying. Like, I'm walking through, I'm doing this mission, and I'm like, okay, what would I do here? Okay, I gotta find this. I gotta be like very sneaky, but also, definitely, of course, having fun about it. Remember, I was walking through 2 knives, jumping on them, or oh no, I was sneaking up, so I like crouch down and I sneak up on the zombie, and I go like screwdriver to the head, and I'm like shh, shh, shh. And I like set it on the ground.
Down.
That actually might be in some of this footage, but
That's
I
funny.
can't remember if I recorded it or not. But really, it's just the immersion. I think if they can get it more immersed and more comfortable, it's going to be around. And
Do you think they'll ever reach like Sword Art Online levels, like full dive tech, where you just enter another world?
Like for days on end, like it's tracking your vitals and stuff.
Sure.
we're
Do
a
you
ways
think
away.
full
Not-
dive will ever be a thing?
Not in our lifetime.
Fair enough.
I mean, maybe.
I don't think so.
Maybe like towards the end of our lifetime.
But
But
mean-
they put us in an old folk, like a virtual old folks home.
It would be interesting to see, though, kind of not on the gaming side, but like, what about medical aspect where full-on paralyzed person could be like, full dive, and maybe
how would they run on the treadmill?
No, the
No, like
the
Sword Art
full
Online.
dive that they like.
Oh,
your brain
the full
enters the video game.
Gotcha. Okay.
that's a while away.
Yeah.
For sure.
Do you think VR will ever supersede the console, the PS5, the Xbox, the Switch?
I think if they bump up their content, then I think it could be a legitimate competitor.
Interesting.
If they got out games that like Skyrim that have hundreds of hours of content that you could just spend time in there and defeat dragons or whatever the game is, maybe like I don't know, is there a racing game like a Fast and Furious or Need for Speed sort of racing game? But that's the kind of thing that if they had, I feel like could be a legitimate competitor for consoles.
Interesting. I'm kind of on the opposite side. I feel like I don't want to say it's a fad because it's been around. VR's been around for a long time and it is getting better. I don't think it'll ever take place of the consoles though.
I don't think it will
I think-
replace them, no.
Yeah.
But I think it could be a competitor.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just like an old guy or whatever, but like I feel like people are I think VR is still very foreign to people. They're very comfortable on just sitting down with a controller. That's all consoles are. A PS5, a Switch, whatever. But I mean, my example is if you take a look at the Wii was very different than everything else.
Yeah.
It wasn't VR, but it was different.
Motion
right?
controls.
Motion control. And the whole thing is they wanted people to get up, they wanted people to do stuff. And then people did, they got annoyed with it, and then they sat down and started playing the game sitting down. And then the Wii died and we went to consoles back sitting down. So I think VR will be a very cool thing that people will do every now and again. I don't know if it will be the next big, hey, let's link up, let's hop on VR every night kind of a thing. I think Xbox and PlayStation will still hold true to that.
Well, that's
Again, that's just me. That's my perspective.
and I agree with that. For right now, for sure. But again, if they make it to where you just like slip on a pair of glasses,
Okay, yeah, that's a fair point. Like, if it does become more streamlined and easier, and people can get I'm gonna say more casual because there are people out there. Like I know that you guys like that it's fully immersive, but I think there are people out there that don't want that. They're like, listen, I just want something to. I want to play Mario Kart with my wife for 30 minutes. I don't want this
Yeah,
whole
then they can use a
immersive
console.
thing for exactly. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. And so you have to kind of establish like the difference between like casual players and competitive rank. No, but so I think it's just over the years, if they do evolve and it becomes less foreign to people, it will definitely become a competitor. But I don't see because I've talked to people about this and they're like, no, VR, like it's going to be the next thing. It's going to get rid of everything. I don't know about that.
I don't think it'll get rid of things. I think it will be another console.
Yeah.
It'll be Xbox, PS5,
'Cause, I mean,
or PS17,
in-
and Oculus.
In VR's defense, they did what Xbox and PlayStation couldn't. Like if you look at the Xbox Connect, my gosh,
Yeah,
that was a
that was
dumpster fire.
terrible.
It never worked. The
PlayStation
motion-
had their motion controls.
Yeah, like,
too, and that was terrible.
everyone tried it and failed, and then VR came along, and they just committed 100% to it, and it actually, it works.
I think,
so-
yeah.
See,
Yeah.
I would like to see a day where, okay, so I've done a bit of traveling here and there, and that's why I have my Switch for. I hardly ever play my Switch unless I'm traveling because you got those few hours at a time where
Right.
waiting
right.
for an airplane or whatever, or bus or whatnot. But I think it would be so cool again if they make VR much more portable, accessible.
I didn't even think about
Wait.
it. VR's not even portable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not too portable.
Sorry, I'm just imagining like you in an airport,
Playing
like
Beat
with,
Saber.
with some glasses on, just like running or like.
Well, I'm just thinking,
punching
like-
things.
Okay, so like, let's say I'm sitting in the middle seat of a cramped airplane. Okay, put on these glasses, and kind of takes you out of that little situation, like a little
Right.
escape.
But there would
from-
have to be like a
Sit
system
down in
where
a
you're
big-
not like flailing around. It's like pretty much a VR, but you had a little controller where you can
Yeah,
just
we-
walk
or
around in the
It
world.
doesn't even have to be for games. Like you can just sit
No,
down and
yeah.
watch movies or TV or.
exactly.
I was watching Rick and Morty just today, actually.
Yeah. Again, if the headset wasn't, I would do that on a plane if the headset wasn't so big.
Exactly.
Yeah, if it
But,
were
like,
just
imagine that,
glasses,
you know-
because I'd be like, okay, with that big thing on.
But that's the thing. You put that on, you sit back, and like, yeah, you might be cramped, but it can give you the illusion of space.
Yeah.
Which
See,
sometimes
it might be a little like I mean, you go to stretch and punch someone in the face. You know, like,
you give them both glasses, and then it's like, oh, cool, we're sitting on a couch in a big place. I don't know.
So what game? If you could have any game in VR, what would you like to see?
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh, that'd be
That
fun.
would be really cool.
Oh man,
That'd be super
like
cool,
draw,
dude.
like draw, and like play it, and it summons and stuff.
Yeah.
And see like a
Okay.
big monster on the field. That'd be cool.
well, because like, okay, so Dungeons and Dragons was going to be my first one, but then we have
We got DeMeo.
DeMeo for
Yeah.
that, and that's very similar. You just lift out your hand, you have your spell cards or whatever, you roll your dice, all that. It's pretty cool. But I just imagine, like either Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh, where like,
Yeah, see, mine's
you
Pokemon.
throw it out,
Pokemon would
and,
be
like,
cool.
Yeah.
You tell Pikachu to use Thunderbolt, like.
Yeah, or like you actually like have to throw the Pokeball like when you do a battle against someone. and
Exactly.
You have to point and be like, we don't have to. It's just for the lulz,
It would be awesome.
Pokemon would be pretty cool. Or like just like looking around in the brush for Pokemon. There's so much you could do there.
Yeah.
There's so much.
I think I'd like to see like an Avatar: The Last Airbender game, where you like, if you move your arms a certain way, you summon a tornado and like.
Oh, okay.
That would be super
or like
cool, right?
Naruto, if
You
you,
get
do the
gloves.
hand, like if you do the hand signs.
Yeah, that would be super
You
cool.
actually summon something.
So like a sort of like a Street Fighter type game, but with like Avatar or Naruto.
You do
or-
the clone jutsu.
That'd be
You see a
super
whole
cool.
bunch of your
Yeah,
avatars.
that would be pretty awesome. That would be pretty cool.
They've also, I think one thing that the new Oculus
Mhm.
is developing, or the new Oculus that will come out, I think they're working on right now, face tracking technology.
What does that mean?
So like
Is it like if you look somewhere, the camera will move because you looked the other
that,
way?
or
Interesting.
like your emotion, like let's say you're talking, let's say we are in a virtual reality room right now, and it tracks my face, tracks your face, so we can see each other's facial expressions, but as our own avatars. Or whatnot.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Oh, I feel like that'd be really hard, but I mean,
Yeah,
good
like
luck.
what sort of is it? Just a camera that looks at you, or do you have to like wear a helmet?
I don't know.
Interesting.
It's just something.
I mean, I think of
will
it
work
similar to
with.
like a Snapchat filter, where it's
Oh,
you know,
okay.
if they can project stuff onto, if they can find your face and put stuff on it, they can probably have the technology to find your face and just re-image it.
See that? I mean that could be funny because I love when Snapchat glitches out sometimes. Whoa, you okay?
Putting on too many filters. No, I have big hopes for VR. I really do.
Me too. I think I think it's still a developing genre, but that it will get up there.
I think the Oculus 2 was really
I agree. The
made
Oculus,
the waves.
yeah, it fixed a lot of problems that VR had. But anyway, let us know what you guys think. Is VR the next big thing? Well, I don't know. We'll see you next time on Buddy Smudge. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.